Hello and welcome to Meet the Mentors. Today we've got Liz Marr from Centurion VAT, who's going to just talk to us a little bit about the importance of VAT. So Liz, over to you. Why is it important for small businesses or start-up businesses to be considering VAT?
Well, I think it's just one of those certainties in life, isn't it? They say there's death and there's taxes, Chrissy, and VAT is one of those taxes. It is a big revenue generator for the government, so small businesses can't really ignore it. They can choose how they work with it to some regard, but they can't really ignore it.
And do small businesses ignore it then?
Well, research would suggest that. I was reading something recently on the website suggesting that out of about 2 million micro businesses in Wales, in the UK rather, about a third of those are unaware of the VAT registration threshold, which is pretty basic VAT knowledge that does need to be out there.
Yeah. So the registration threshold is 88,000. Am I right?
Currently, from the 1st of April 2015, the VAT registration threshold is £82,000. Okay. And that's driven by what we call your taxable turnover. Now, one of the important things businesses tend to confuse is profit and turnover. And VAT is about what your turnover is, not how much money you make. So if you're selling goods or services in the UK and they're subject to the standard rate of VAT or the reduced rate or even the zero rate, then when that level of turnover gets to 82,000, you must notify the revenue.
And how easy is it to notify them? What do you have to do? Where do you go?
Everything is virtually done online these days. I mean, in my day there were paper forms as well. But you go in through the government gateway and you apply for registration through there. You don't have to have breached the £82,000 turnover limit in order to VAT register. And I know a lot of people will say, well, why on earth would I want to VAT register if I don't have to? But VAT can actually help you, because if you're making taxable sales, you can recover the VAT that you incur in your business. And that's a positive thing.
Okay. So what would your top tips be for a business right now to help them about their VAT?
Well, I think if you're starting out in business, one of the things to consider is don't confuse VAT with being your money. So if you do become VAT registered and you start to charge VAT on the things you sell, almost put that VAT money aside and put it somewhere separately, because you're going to have to give that to the revenue on your VAT return every VAT quarter that you submit. So it's not your money.
Okay, so it would be really useful for them to set up a savings account that they put the VAT into every month.
Yeah, so yes. Whatever your turnover is, whatever VAT you've charged on your sales, cut that and put that to one side. I know interest rates are pretty grim at the moment, but it's about getting good housekeeping habits.
Yeah, okay. And what's another tip then?
Well, I think the other thing that I've learned over 30 years in VAT is make sure when you're pricing the product that you're going to deliver that you make sure you add VAT on top of it. So many times I've seen businesses that get an unexpected VAT bill and they didn't realise they should have charged VAT on the things they were selling. So work out what you need to get for the item you're selling, £50, £10, whatever, and then add the VAT to get your pricing structure right so you don't get caught out.
No, that's an excellent tip. And finally, your third tip?
Well, I suppose the third thing is just don't be afraid of VAT. I think a lot of businesses, small or large, will leave VAT until it bites them. Well, actually, VAT can be really helpful to you. For example, the thing I was talking about making zero-rated sales, you don't have to charge VAT on the sales, but it still allows you to recover VAT on your costs. So you might actually register before you start making transactions, because it helps you recover VAT on your startup costs, and then when you start making those sales, then you charge VAT. And that's a useful cash flow tip.
And do you think that other businesses would see you as being more successful or more stable if you are registered for VAT?
There is certainly something to that, isn't there? Because, I mean, a VAT registration number comes with it the sense that this business has got more turnover than 82,000 for a start. So it does give you that sense of scale. The other thing that might help you with is that if you're buying in things from overseas countries in the EU, they will often ask you for your VAT registration number. And if you give them that, they will not charge you VAT on the goods that they send across to you. You will have to charge yourself VAT, which is a bit odd, but you don't incur French, German VAT on those sales. And that can be helpful.
Okay. But finally, on online businesses, what about, because this is getting into a nightmare area at the moment.
It is, Chrissy. It's been complicated. Over the years, what the revenue have tried to drive through is VAT is accounted for in the tax of country of consumption. So where is your customer? That's where the VAT rate's going to be due. Now, from January of 2015, we saw a totally different treatment come in on digital services provided online. And this has meant from in the past, the UK supplier would have charged UK VAT on their supply. From the 1st of January, for those online digital services, now the VAT's due on the country of the customer. So the UK business has to charge the French customer French VAT at the French rate and has to pay that VAT over to the French authorities. And that's a seismic change.
It is, and lots of registration, lots of red tape, I imagine.
Yes, but again, there are some solutions to that, and through the government gateway you can access what we call a mini one-stop shop, which will allow businesses caught by those regulations to basically deal with all the foreign VAT through the UK. So there are tools out there to help businesses, but it's not without its challenges, that's true.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Liz. That's been really helpful. And thank you for being our Meet the Mentor today.
It's been a pleasure, Chrissy. Thank you for asking.
Thank you.